is up, party people? Let's forget to do. Nope, it's already good. What is up, party people? Gonna jump into a few topics. Here today, tonight. So yeah, as you probably seen in the thumbnail and the description, gonna get into a little bit of Hunter Biden, Young Thug, Donald Trump. Gonna try to tie it all in together, make it all make sense. Why I took those three topics, put it together. We got literally the craziest time in America right now in terms of the justice system, the government, politics. Things are just pretty much a mess right now. But I want to touch base, show a couple points of view that I'm not sure if a lot of people are realizing right now. Not really sure if a lot of people are realizing that. Damn. Let me check my IG. I was talking about this last time. Do I have it here? Do I have it? Do I have it? It's crazy. Whenever I want something, it's like the hardest thing to find. Oh, I spoke about this last time. ALC, Alexandria, whatever the hell her name is, really not that important enough to remember. You should be a little bit more noteworthy when you pick such a long, luxurious name. Not that important for people to be remembering your entire name, but check this chick out.
And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night. And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to.
They need to go out because they don't have money and knock your grandmother over the head to get some money to feed their child, so it's not their fault.
They're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night. And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night. And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift.
This needs to just be left on a loop for like the next 10 years, like 10 years straight. It blows my mind how you go on IG, you look this lady up, she has 8 million people who follow her. 8 million people who listen to the filth. 8 million. She's a politician. 8 million people. She's a politician. Spewing nonsense. Check out all the countries she's been to: Colombia, Chile, Brazil, South Korea, Japan. She's like an Instagram thought masquerading as a politician. What else has she been? Do you guys ever see her in the dress? She's talking about tax the rich. Her and all the other New York Democrats tax the rich. She goes to the most luxurious ball, literally like a ball, like we're talking the 1700s. She goes to a ball with the rich and famous. Uh, AOC Met Gala. Yeah, here's her partying with the rich and the famous. Met Gala, that's the thing where like Kim Kardashian, David Beckham, all the rich and famous people who like avoid paying taxes go. She goes there, takes a photo shoot. I guess she thought some way somehow like people would be fooled. She's wearing this little dress. Tax the rich, you're partying with the rich. The hypocrisy. Again, poking her butt out like an Instagram thought. Don't get it. This is a politician with 8 million followers. Who is she pictured with there? I have no idea. Thought I'd get into that before I jump into this. So this was insane. Saw this completely was just like baffled by it. So this judge here who's representing Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, hip hop rapper out of Atlanta. Atlanta is the same state Fannie Lewis, the girl who was banging the special assigned investigator or district attorney that she put on the case for the Donald Trump um, voter manipulation um, case in Atlanta. So I say that to say a lot of corruption going on in Atlanta. Atlanta's looking real bad. It's supposed to be a predominantly black African American city hub of America, making themselves look bad. Fannie Lewis, what she did, improper assignment of the gentleman she had a sexual relationship with, hired him at a rate, I believe, like 3 times higher than what is average. So now we have this judge here who somehow, some way, the defendant, Young Thug, his lawyer found out that this judge had an improper meeting with the district attorney, a witness, without him being present. So, for a lot of people who don't know, meetings, especially between witnesses who have already been sworn in, any type of meeting that's supposed to be had, the prosecutor, which is the district attorney, as well as the defense, which is hired by the defendant, is supposed to be present, so nothing is going on behind the scenes. Nothing funny or fishy is going on. So somehow, some way, the attorney for Young Thug, Mr. Steele, found out that the judge had this improper meeting and he brought it up. And I don't believe at first he was asking for it to be dismissed. He wanted to know what happened in the meeting. He wanted the footage, not footage, the transcript. Anytime there's a meeting, even in the judge's chambers, they have a transcriptor who sits down and types every word said. Everything is not always on the record. Sometimes they have the judge in the meeting with the defendant, with the witness, without the transcriptor there, so that could have possibly happened. So this gentleman Young Thug's lawyer calls him out on it. And what transpires is completely insane.
Introducing XM Copy Trading. Copy successful traders and earn from the markets, or get copied and make up to 50% profit share from your strategy.
Mr. Steele, I am going to hold you still hold you in summary criminal contempt.
The judge in Young Thug's RICO trial orders the rapper's attorney to jail for contempt.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you? You should have told me. You got 5 minutes.
This happened after lawyer Brian Steele refused to tell the judge how he found out about a meeting between the judge, the prosecutor, and a state's witness. Steele's lawyer is here with what's next for him and Young Thug's trial. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. It was a crazy, wild day in court in Young Thug's trial. On Monday, it started with testimony from Kenneth Copeland, who goes...
To give some background to this gentleman is considered like a hostile witness. He's being forced to testify pretty much against his will. So why it's even a bigger deal that the defense's lawyer wanted to be present in this behind in chambers meeting is the fact that they're probably coercing him to testify. If you don't testify, we're going to do this. If you do testify, we'll do this for you. We'll provide you this. Maybe we'll buy you a house in California. All these type of things is going on. That's the main and major reason the attorney brought it up. But what the judge is trying to say is he shouldn't have known about it. The only way he could have known about it is somebody in the chambers told him about it, which, what does that even matter? At the end of the day, you did something you weren't supposed to do. I guess from the judges and maybe the district attorneys point of view, they could say like he feels intimidated. Maybe he feels unsafe. That's why he's not cooperating and telling them the information they believe he knows. But in any regard, the defense attorney is supposed to be present. He's supposed to be made privy to these situations, and to threaten a lawyer to put him in jail for defending his client, it just imagine like you hired an attorney for millions of dollars and you have to worry if the attorney's thinking about himself or if he's thinking about you, his best interest or your best interest. He's supposed to be completely free to provide the best defense for you. So this is why this is like completely insane and alarming.
Goes by Little Woody. Copeland wasn't really into testifying despite being given immunity by the prosecution. He spent the weekend in jail after refusing to testify on Friday. Copeland took the stand on Monday and let it be known that he wasn't going to do it.
Hey Nurse D, how you doing? Yeah, I mean, it's like every day at this point we're just seeing new ways, new load for our justice system now. Proof that there's no such thing as justice.
So Copeland, good afternoon. Do you want to be here?
Ma'am,
Do you want to be here?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, are you going to let me ask you some questions?
Okay.
How old are you?
Grown.
Okay, what does grown mean?
I'm an adult.
Okay. And when you say you're an adult, what number in years are you?
I plead the fifth.
This is crazy. Like, again, we have a justice system, but if somebody does not want to be a part of your trial, of your investigation, and you're sitting them there and forcing them with the threat of, you tell us what we want to hear you say, or you're going to go to jail, or you're going to forcibly take you somewhere you don't want to be. Isn't that pretty primitive? Like, that's a pretty primitive way to go about doing things. Do what we want, or we're going to force you, we're going to forcibly take you somewhere and hold you there, where you can't shower when you want to shower, turn on the light when you want to turn on the light, eat when you want to eat, We're gonna do that if you don't do what we want you to do. That's illegal. There are laws against witness intimidation. It's funny because like all the topics that I put in the title, it all, cohesively comes together. Like with the Hunter Biden situation, Joe Biden, the president of the United States, went and visited a witness who is or was set to testify to his son Joe Biden's criminal activity, which he was just found guilty of 3 felony gun issues. So in this situation, again, it's Joe Biden's son. That's one of the things I wanted to get into. His son was just found guilty on 3 gun charges federally. Somehow they're saying you could get convicted by the federal government and not go to jail. I don't know how that's possible. They're one of the harshest arms of the legal system when it comes to that. You're supposed to serve, I believe, 85% of your time when it comes to the federal government. But in any event, they're literally forcing this guy to testify. He doesn't want to be there. All his answers are like, it's ridiculous. You can see the disdain he has for being there. On top of this, a lot of people are saying that the people he's testifying against, they still want him to live. They haven't offered this gentleman witness protection either. So on top of not giving him, easy, bro. I've been looking at this. This case is crazy. Impacted by the fact of what they're trying to do to this guy's lawyer. That's the craziest part. But let's jump back into it.
So after that, Brian Steele let the court know that he found out that Judge Earl Glanville, prosecutors, and Copeland with his lawyer met in chambers without members of the defense teams, including Steele, present.
I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And
so 8:30, 9:30, 10. So for 3 hours, everybody arrived when they were supposed to arrive, 9 a.m., whatever. Some courts 8 a.m. So essentially, at least for 3 hours, they weren't allowed into the courtroom while he secretly met with the witness who doesn't want to testify. So whatever pressure they put on him, listen, if you don't cooperate, we're gonna put you in jail. If you cooperate, what do you owe? You owe student loans, $300,000. We'll see what we could do for you when it comes to the 3. Oh, you have a felony gun possession. We could make that go away if you give us testimony here today. So this is the reason. It's not for no reason that he doesn't want to be president. He wants to be president because he wants to get a temperature of the room. This guy doesn't want to testify. What are you doing? How are you coercing him into testifying?
what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told.
Yeah, essentially, I wasn't reading. I was listening to two different lawyers. Basically, they said no matter what, because of what this judge did, it's going to be a mistrial. Or the case, I don't want to say dismiss, but the judgment will be thrown out because what he did is almost illegal. Like, he's most likely if he doesn't lose his license, he's gonna be under like a lot of pressure to resign, step down. What he did is like unheard of as a judge, and pretty much everything I've looked over said is gonna get thrown out if he's found guilty.
Based upon information belief that that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment.
So can I interrupt you just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Now, this
See, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't even know what that means. XA par XA parte XA parte. Done with the respect to the interests of one side only or interested outside party. The owners made an ex parte application to the High Court for a stay on the decision. With respect to or interests of one side only, lawyers are forbidden to meet with a judge ex parte or outside the presence of opposing counsels. So I guess ex parte means like, I guess they're doing it for his safety. They wanted to have a meeting with him secretly to let him know, you're gonna be safe, whatever, we're gonna provide protection for you. That could be the reason they did it. But in any event, like when it comes to court, especially to a sworn in witness, you gotta have a situation where, like, anything put into evidence, anything that the DA or even the defense, they gotta be made aware of it. You can't just move on your own accord without letting the defense know in some way, shape, or form.
this seems really
It's so crazy that I had a lawsuit. I had a lawsuit against the security company, and I would try to contact the court. I would contact the court and I would say, listen, they're doing this, they said this, I want to move to do this. The court would tell me like everything you're saying, because I was self-representing myself. They would say anything you said. It was me against two lawyers, because it was two separate companies that I had a suit against. They would tell me everything you just emailed us is, we don't recognize it, it's non-existent. You have to let all parties know what you've said here. We're not going to submit this, we're not going to take this in for submission unless everybody is CC'd on a conversation that doesn't exist. So essentially, any motion, if you make a motion to the court, if you put in a plea, everybody has to be made aware of it. I can't put in a plea, a motion, anything, an objection without letting the other party know. So that's why it's so egregious what's going on.
unusual that a judge would be meeting in chambers with a state's witness and the prosecutor without a member of the defense team there. But Judge Glanville was furious that Steele found out about the meeting in chambers.
So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
Sir, I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who that.
It's like getting caught stealing. You get caught stealing, and then you have her like, okay, you caught me stealing. How did you know I stole $5,000 out your dresser? What? What does it matter how I know how you stole $5,000 out my dresser? The point is, did you steal $5,000 or not? Well, the only way you could know is if you had a camera in your bedroom and you're not really supposed to have a camera in your bedroom. So, nah, bro, it don't really matter how I found out that you did some illegal ish. Like, all right, you going to jail. We holding you in contempt, and they literally take him into custody. He appealed it eventually. He still might have to go, but his lawyer was so with it. His lawyer said, all right, if you gonna lock me up, at the very least, lock me up with Young Thug. This guy's gonna be like the new Johnny Cochran.
Tell me who this information was coming from. Well, then answer that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out. I tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you. I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege. Attorney work product privilege. I am. How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you? I'm not. You should have told me. You got 5 minutes.
Glanville actually ordered that Steele be thrown out of court for the day over Steele's objection and the objection of his co-counsel.
Well, I'm going to hold you in contempt, and you can think about it. 5 o'clock today, we'll see where you are at that stand on that point. Because no, that's not what I understand the rule to be. I've not asked you sum and substance of what was said. I asked you how you got it.
Discovering this incredibly breathtaking destination, you will find